This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by the Sussex County Association of Realtors.
Many Americans dream of owning a home, but as many of you know, it's a huge expense for which it takes a while to save. So many people opt to rent instead. Let's take a look at who's doing what. According to the United States Census Bureau, 7.5 million 25 to 34-year-olds own their home. That number jumps to nearly 18 million amongst 45 to 54-year-olds, and 36.5 million for those 55 years or older. Now, if we compare that to renters, more than 10 million 25 to 34-year-olds rent. Just over 7 million 45 to 54-year-olds are renters. And this might be surprising, but the age range with the most renters is 55 and over, with almost 11 million renters. A Joint Center for Housing study of Harvard University says this may be because many older folks prefer the limited responsibility of rental properties. Now, your needs really do vary depending on what stage of life you're in. There are many factors that come into play when deciding whether to rent or buy. Maybe you're not sure what's best for you. Well, Sean caught up with the folks of Sussex County Association of Realtors to find out some of the things a person should know when making that important decision.
So when I first moved down to Delmarva, the first question I had to ask myself was, where do I want to live? After I decided that, well, then I had to decide if I wanted to rent or buy. Ultimately, I decided to rent, but a lot of people are asking themselves that question these days. And here to help you answer that question is Debbie Brittingham and Jose Quinones with the Sussex County Association of Realtors. Jose, I'm going to start over here with you. First and foremost, what is a long-term rental?
Anything over 180 days or more per Delaware landlord-tenant code.
So anything under that, is that just seasonal?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm wondering with these rentals, are they becoming more popular?
That's a tough question because you have people entering the market and you have people exiting the market. You may have people that do not want to deal with the costs associated with maintaining a home.
So it depends on the market. All right, so with the resort towns, I know Sussex County has a lot of beach towns. Are they hard to find long-term rentals?
Well, the more inland you go, it's easier, but you still can find some.
All right, so if I want to live on the beach but I don't want to buy a house, I can still do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I know with a mortgage, you're kind of locked in.
Yes.
With these long-term rentals, it sounds like they're locked in, but is that the case?
No, you can get out. You know, if your job requires you to move away more than 30 miles, that's one way to get out. If there's a serious illness in the family and they are required to move away, they can get out. And also if you are a member of the military.
Always got to think about the military. Thanks so much, Jose. Debbie, moving over to you, how can somebody decide if they should rent or buy? What do they need to think?
Well, they really need to think about what they envision for their life plan. I know it can be short-term, long-term, but if they know that they're not going to be in an area very long, they're going to want to rent. If they've decided that they're going to be there for 10 or 15 years, buying is the best option as far as, you know, equity and acquiring some personal wealth through your investment.
So if somebody thinks they're going to move quickly, they might want to think about rental, but what are some of the other benefits that a rental property offers?
Rental properties offer you the luxury of not having to worry about fixing the roof, fixing the plumbing, taking care of the electric, the heating and air conditioning. That's on the landlord.
That's something I don't want to worry about.
A lot of people are the same.
They don't. All right. So I'm wondering though, when I think of renting, and personally I rent an apartment, but that's not the case. There are also properties that a person can rent that are a lot bigger.
Oh my, yes, especially as a result of the economic crisis that we've recently experienced. There's a lot of single-family homes with 1 or 2 car garages, anywhere from 1,200. I've seen recently some homes for 4,000 square feet that were available for rent.
Now, if anybody has more questions, some personalized questions, there's actually a home buyers fair that you guys have coming up in a couple of weeks. Tell me a little bit more about that.
We're having a fair at the Delaware Technical Community College on, I believe, the 26th from 9 to 1. And at that fair, we have NCAL Research for State Community Action, several others as well, that are there to help people determine what their credit is. They'll pull a credit report for them. They'll sit down with them and discuss what they envision for their future and help them make that decision. If they want to buy, should they rent, you know, and prepare for that. Because whether you're renting or buying, you need to be prepared for both.
Yeah, and also I want to mention that Jose's going to be there. Jose's bilingual, so he's going to be able to help you out in either English or Spanish. And if you want to hear that information again, all you have to do is go to our website, wboc.com. Just click on our picture at the top of the page.
And that home buyers fair is actually a joint effort by multiple agencies, including the Delaware State Housing Authority. You'll also find the list of everyone who will be in attendance by going to our website. Now, once you get comfy in your home, perhaps you plan on spending your evenings out on the deck. In 3, 2, 1. That home buyers fair is actually a joint effort by multiple agencies, including the Delaware State Housing Authority. You'll also find the list of everyone who will be in attendance by going to our website. Now, once you get comfy in your home, perhaps you plan on spending your evenings out on the deck. You don't want your fun time to turn into a fiasco. Up next on DelmarvaLife, how you can know for sure that your deck is safe and secure. And here's something I know for sure: if this whole TV thing doesn't work out, Sean might just want to take up magic. You'll see why when he spends a day in the life of a magician. DelmarvaLife, we'll be right back.